So today we're going to talk about why some African Americans feel like Africans may hate them. So stay tuned.
What you sing as giving them a high of value.
Anasema malaika ninakupenda malaika anasema malaika ninakutamani malaika.
What's going on, world? Welcome back to T3 and Me. It's your man Tim Ford Jr. here, and I'm here with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Siobhan Ford. Karibu, Mrs. Ford.
Sante.
Yes, Karibu. You are welcome back to the channel. I want to say welcome to the new subscribers that we've got. We've recently reached 31,000 subscribers. So, yeah. Hungera sana to myself, Hungera sana to my wife. We've been working hard. We've been putting in a lot of work, being consistent with the content and being strategic with the work that we're doing. So we're seeing growth. So I want to celebrate the milestone and just, congratulate my wife. Thank you for the help. Appreciate it. Yes, we've been doing a lot of work and putting in a lot of groundwork to help this movement go forward and really show people what's going on over here in Africa. So we're grateful that we're reaching new levels. So Karibu Sana, that means welcome to all the new subscribers that's joined us. Welcome you all. And to all our subscribers who've been here the entire journey, welcome you all. Thank you all for staying tuned this long, for showing us love, for showing us support, for continuing to send us prayers. We appreciate it. We don't take it for granted that you guys are watching us, that you find value in the content that we're producing. So thank you all. We appreciate it. And thank y'all for, holding us accountable and showing us love. We appreciate it. So yeah, like we said in the beginning, today we're going to talk about why some African Americans feel like Africans hate them. I know y'all been seeing us say it and y'all been seeing the videos of us talk about it and wondering, like, why do we even think that? Like, why is that even a question for us to ask? Y'all notice that a lot of people here don't even understand, like, have that thought process to even think, like, why do you think we hate you guys?
Yeah, and I was told that hate isn't even a word in a lot of different African cultures.
Yeah.
That's a Western word and a Western concept. They may dislike someone, but I don't think they have words for hate in most African languages, or they didn't originally until colonizers came.
Yeah. So, we want to touch on and really shine light on why we are asking that question and why some of our people may feel that way. Because it's not just coming out of the, we're not just pulling out of the sky and just saying, like, do you hate us? There's something that we've experienced as a people. That's something that happened for us to have this thought process and think about it like that. So we want to, shine light on it. We have to, because it's a part of the healing journey that we're on as a people, as we're trying to come together and build with one another. We want to talk about it so we can, help one another get to that level that we're trying to get to and come together as a people. We're here to let y'all know about some of the experiences and shine light on what, what needs to be done and how we can move forward on it.
Yeah, it's really time that we kind of have these hard conversations as a diaspora. And by diaspora, because I know some people may not necessarily be familiar with that word, but by diaspora, I mean Africans, continental Africans who were born and raised and are native to the continent of Africa, as well as Caribbeans, Black African Americans, Canadian Black people, people who went to the UK. So anyone who is of African descent is considered to be a diasporan.
Yeah.
So we know that we have been displaced systematically. We've been sold and scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And now we all just speak different languages. We have different cultural practices. What has happened to us has played a role in the misunderstandings that have gone on between us, the rifts, the division, the miscommunications that has gone on. And we got to have these hard conversations, because in order for us to heal as a diaspora, as a nation of African people, we got to have these conversations, and we're going to do it respectfully. And we talk a lot about African Americans and how they misbehave and the things that they do when they come back to the continent. So it's only right for us to also discuss what has gone on to African Americans in their so-called country of America as well. Yeah. Having lived in both worlds, having lived in America and Africa, we kind of can see both sides of it. And so we felt like we would want to facilitate this conversation, facilitate the healing and the the repair and everything that needs to go into us really uniting as a people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow. T3's coming with a toy, you guys. For mommy? Ah, he got something for you, mommy.
Okay.
Yeah. Here you go.
That's fine.
Ah,
It's on your hair.
Put it on
Thank
your
you.
hair.
I don't want to put this on my hair. My hair is done already.
Huh?
This is what he got me, y'all.
Show the people what you got, T3.
Hey,
Welcome to T3 and me.
that's what you do to me.
I'm T3.
I'm TV.
Karibu Sana. Look at the camera. Karibu Sana.
How are you with Nana?
Welcome to T3 and me.
What could you do to me?
I'm T3.
I'm TV.
Ah, yeah. Show them your bajaji. Ooh. Yeah. Good job.
The light
Yeah, the light.
and the fire.
And tire.
Mama Prince calling you, T3.
Now it's time to go
Say
back to Mama
nom.
Prince. Say,
Say
ah, yeah,
nom.
see y'all later.
Say nom to Mama Prince, T3.
Now, Mama Patsy.
All right.
Nakuja.
Nakuja. Very much.
In
Go
the
ask
house.
Mama Prince. Love you.
So yeah, having lived in both worlds, we really can understand both sides of it. And me having lived in New York City, I grew up around a lot of Africans. So this conversation is actually near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And I really feel like we can facilitate the conversation and start to bring about true healing, because we can't brush this under the rug. We have to talk about it. So here we go. So I would say one of the first points on why some African Americans may feel that Africans hate them or dislike them or don't feel like they're the same people is because historically there were certain tribes of Africans who helped sell African Americans into slavery. Now we know that they were in cahoots and that they didn't come up with this plan on their own. They were recruited into it by the colonizers, but nonetheless, some of them did facilitate in the selling of our people. So that's a deep wound that some of our people carry within them, and there hasn't really been much that's been done in terms of repair.
Yeah.
I know Ghana issued an apology for their role in the transatlantic slave trade, and they have called on the people to return home, and they've offered them citizenship, but that's just one country. There's 53 other countries as well, and so that's one of the things that it kind of needs to be addressed.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people, since we've been here, we've learned that, slavery wasn't the same as it was in the West. Like, there was slavery going on at some point, but the way that the West did it took it to another level. Like, the way slavery went back in before Westernization came and did their version of slavery, slavery was done for a certain amount of time. Like, you paid off a debt to someone, you paid off, what you owed, and you were able to go freely.
And you were still able to raise a family and have children.
Yeah.
It wasn't chattel slavery.
Yeah, it wasn't perpetual servitude like they tried to put us under as a people. So they were sort of, they were bamboozled as well in a sense. Like, I know that knowledge is, not common, but that wasn't the type of slavery that they was expecting people to have to endure. That's something that I've learned being here so far.
So now let's talk about African immigrants who have went to America for whatever reason, whether that be school, work, economic issues, in search of a better life. They sell America as a land of opportunity. So there could be many reasons why African immigrants have went to America, but mostly it's for upward mobility, to put their family in a better position or themselves in a better position. So, number one, what we learned while we were in America is that when immigrants come, and this is not just specific to African immigrants, any immigrant in general, when they come to America and they have to go through the whole immigration process, so they want to get citizenship in America, they have to go through immigration classes, and they have to do like a series of things before they're issued their green card or their U.S. citizenship. They teach these people in the immigration classes to stay away from Black Americans. They teach them that we are unruly, we're rebels, we're troublemakers, and to just kind of like stay away from us. Now, some people won't admit that they were taught this, or maybe you were lucky and you got an immigration officer that didn't teach you this, but a large majority of people who have immigrated to the U.S. have been taught this. And so that already automatically portrays a negative stereotype of African Americans. They want to portray us as being lazy and violent, when in fact we're the complete opposite. We were, historically, nowadays they done went off, but historically we were the ones who built the entire country. We turned America from nothing into the first world country that it is today. That's because of us. We built that country. We built the railroads. We built the infrastructure. We picked the cotton, which the U.S. dollar is still to this day backed by cotton. Cotton is what propelled the United States into being a superpower. 400 years of free labor, right, is what propelled America into being a superpower. They never paid us. So yeah, we have a bone to pick with them, you know. And there actually was an article done by some research that was done into this, because I know some people are like, what? That's the thing. Like, yes, they've actually done articles and journals and studied like the rift between Africans and African Americans. And there was an article in UC Berkeley Law and another article in the Globalist, and they were kind of like discussing some of the differences that go on. And one of the things that they mentioned was that sometimes African immigrants have a hard time relating to African Americans when they come here, because they're just like, oh, just come and just work hard. Like, this is the land of opportunity. But it's like, just like when African Americans come back and they repatriate back to Africa, and you guys want the African Americans to like integrate into the culture, it's the same way. When Africans come back to or go to America, African Americans want them to basically integrate into the culture. And so for somebody to tell you, oh, to just work hard after you've been systematically oppressed and impoverished and beaten and raped and everything else for 400 years, it's kind of like a slap in the face. Like, hold on. Like, you should try to understand what we've been through and our history and our political upheaval in the country. But it's kind of more so like, you know, like, we're just here to better ourselves. We're supporting our family. We don't really want to get involved in the political stuff that's going on, because for one, we got to stay on the straight and narrow because we're not citizens here. And then for two, we didn't come here for that. Like, we came here to make our money, to get our education, and to better ourselves. We're not really concerned about that side of things. This is not everyone, but this is a large majority of African immigrants' mentality.
Yeah, so unfortunately, a lot of people, you know, to come in that society over there, you have to get, you know, you have to adapt and adopt a certain mindset and really start moving in a way that really helps you to move forward in that society. And a lot of people move forward by having a inherent hatred towards us as a people. Like, people have to feel some type of way towards us to subjugate us and make us feel less than, for them in order to move up and elevate and feel higher than. Like, everybody, the way the societies are put up and put in place, that they need somebody at the bottom. And they allow the immigrants to come over and pretend like these people really didn't do anything and help push this country forward. Like my wife was just saying, help build the country. Like, that work is not even mentioned, and they don't even talk about that. So they don't have a complete understanding of what we really went through and have like knowledge or really feel where we coming from. Even from being here, we've noticed, like, when we talk about what we endured and talk about the stuff that we had to deal with while living amongst the Westerners, like, they hear us. I've talked to people here, they're like, I feel you. We could be talking passionately about what we went through and feel with emotion, but they're like, I hear you, I'm with you, but it's just not the same. It's not the same connection. Like, they don't even have the same connection.
And they're like confused about it. Like, why are you guys so upset? And it's like, we're trying to tell you why we're upset. Like, but I understand, because it's like, you didn't go through that. And then you have to think about the white people that come over here is completely different from the ones that we live with. When, for the most part, it's two different sets of white people or Europeans that come over here. You have those who are coming on vacation mode, they're chilling, they living their best life, and they're not going to act crazy in a predominantly African country. They know how to act when they're out in public, for the most part. You know, when they're out in different countries and stuff.
When they're outnumbered.
Yeah, and when they're outnumbered, they're smart. They're predatory type people. They're not going to act crazy, and they're outnumbered. So they come here, they're on their best behavior. They're drinking, they're getting the sun, they're sleeping with the women. They having fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't have no reason to act crazy. And then you have the other groups of Europeans who come and they're like on Peace Corps missions, and they, you know, feel like it's their duty to help and impart knowledge into the Africans. you know, and so they get a completely different version. These people are coming to help them. They're teaching them skills. They're building hospitals in their communities. Now, some of them have gone on to do very nefarious things, but they may not necessarily know that because it's always covert. You know, they don't really do stuff out in the open. So these are the type of Europeans they come into contact with, people that have helped them, that have given them money, that have advanced their community.
Yeah.
So when they come to America, they're not thinking like, oh, these, you know, white, they may know what happened, like, oh, the you know, the colonizers did this, or they sold us into slavery, but it's different of knowing, having had history, and actually living in something. It's two completely different things. We know how wicked these people are. Like, we've lived amongst them. We know their nature. We know their characteristics. We know that they are wicked to the core. But that's just a conversation that we have to have, and Africans have to be willing to understand and empathize and learn and not fight us on it, and then we have to be able to teach them in an open and gracious manner and not just be like, oh, they don't understand, and be like, no, we have to have conversations, healing conversations, empathetic conversations to really understand each other and to be able to move forward.
Yeah, because it's not something that's just going to be simple and we can just, you know, this has been decades of slavery, of media bombardment, of division being put within us. So, you know, these conversations have to start somewhere. So that the feeling of some of my brothers and sisters feel coming, that's reluctant to come to Africa, is because of how some of the people treat them when they come to America. Like, I know a lot of our African brothers and sisters wonder, like, why aren't they coming? Like, why? I don't get it. Like, what's stopping them? If they know they can come, it's possible. It's because some of the people that they encountered over there had a bougie mentality and really disrespected them, and then showed them respect as a human being. So now they're like, hold on, all of the people on the continent is like that. Unfortunately, that's the mindset that some of our people have because of the encounters that they had.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're watching our content, if you're still over there and you have the opportunity, you know, to talk to some of our brothers and sisters and rub shoulders with them, just let them know, like, you understand now. Like, you feel them, you know where they're coming from, and just you want to hear them out and just feel where they're coming from. That's all we really want, just to be heard and just really, like, Understood, yeah, and know, like, we have somebody that's our brother.
That's in our corner.
That's in our corner, and not the world is against us like we trained to think.
Well, that way trained is true, because even Deuteronomy 28 talks about how it says, and thou, meaning Israel, black people, shall become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations whither the Lord shall lead thee. Like, a proverb and a byword is something other than yourself. So being called lazy, being called violent, being called an N-word, I don't want to say it because of the algorithm, but y'all know what I'm saying, Nigger. That's what we're known as around the globe, and that's not true, but this is a prophecy, you know, you see. So people can't say, oh, that's not true, that's not happening. It's in the scriptures that it would happen to us. Also, going back to what we were talking about earlier, about how some of the Africans' mentality when they come to America is just work hard. You know, it's kind of like a slap in the face to say that to African Americans, because it's like the only reason why black people are even allowed to immigrate to America is because of us, because of civil rights. Because prior to the 50s or the 60s, black people from like African countries were not allowed to immigrate to America. It was only like European nations like Irish, Germans, Polish, Russians, those type of people were given first priority. Caribbeans and Africans weren't really thought about to be able to immigrate. It wasn't until we fought for civil rights and we fought to make African peoples a recognized class in America that they opened up the immigration laws. So
since we're here, got to show y'all some of the products real quick.
This natural body baby. Natural body.
Yeah, natural product.
Natural body.
Yeah.
Natural body.
Yeah. Say. Yeah. Come closer. Come. Busy Beachy. And at the end of that, we all know we was led into a burning building at this point. So now we have to look and see, like, okay, what we were taught and what we ran into was not what we thought it was going to be, and what we were promised, I guess. Both sides were promised two different sides of the spectrum that they never received. Some of the Africans came over and they received benefits from the system, but their families was ripped to shreds. Like, you worked so much that you messed your whole family up. You got some money, Yeah, but you don't have peace of mind anymore. You don't have the African sunshine. You don't have the peace. Your father may have went over. He may have sacrificed, and now the family is gone to shreds because you all came over and adapted the American culture that ended up being a cancer to both cultures that adapted it.
Yeah.
Even before Martin Luther King died, after he led the civil rights movement, he said himself, "I unfortunately feel like I led my people into a burning building."
And he started asking for reparations, and that's when he was finished. If you notice, all the civil rights leaders, whenever they start talking about Africa, they get finished. They unalive them. Same thing with Malcolm X. When he came to Zanzibar, and he was supposed to be uniting, this was supposed to be done 40, 50 years ago, the uniting of African and African Americans. They thwarted it, and they've diverted the mission, but we know inevitably it's coming to pass right now. But after he got back from Zanzibar, a couple of months later, I don't even know if it was a couple of months, shortly thereafter, he had been murdered.
Yep.
It's their greatest fear is to see a united Africa and a united diaspora. It's game over.
And we still got to keep fighting in the midst of the adversity, because yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we shall fear no evil.
Yep.
We shall fear no evil. We know what righteousness can bring. We know what loving and being a united people can bring. So while we still have breath in our body, while we're able to have a platform, while we're able to talk to people, this is all we can talk about. There's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
Anything else is a waste. So we need to figure out how we're going to come together while we have an opportunity to.
Yeah, we got some solutions too.
Yeah.
And, it's just time that we see through the indoctrination that has been portrayed against both sides by the colonizers and by the Western media. Just like they taught the African immigrants who come to America that, African Americans are violent and lazy. They taught us that you guys were dirty and that your countries were shithole countries. And President Trump said it on TV.
Yeah.
So
Rwanda, the genocide is what we picture Africa as.
And war,
And
rebel groups, wars, and African children standing around with flies with big bellies. I don't know if y'all remember the Feed the Children commercials that used to come on. That's what they showed us about Africa. They never showed us Dar es Salaam, big cities, advancement. They didn't show us that. So we see who the culprit is. It's not each other, it's them. So we have to recognize who our real enemy is. Just like, even going back to slavery, when some of you guys were recruited to help sell us, it wasn't you guys that came up with that. Y'all just kind of like got dragged into it by them. Yeah, finesse, basically. They gave y'all some liquor and some stuff y'all had never seen before. And that was enough, But we know now who the real culprit is and who the real enemy is. And so we have to stop fighting each other and truly fight against them. That's the real enemy.
And now the enemy is, before we can even look out, we have to look in first. Like they've done a tremendous job of getting us to think in the way that they want us to think. So now you have to really look within yourself and challenge the way that you think and see the world first. Before you can even look out, make sure that you fully hold within yourself to be able to understand what you really up against. Because this game, this war that we were born into, unfortunately, is something that you need to figure out and learn how to put yourself on the right side of things and learn what's going on and learn what we're truly up against. We wrestle not against flesh and blood.
It's spiritual.
It's spiritual, y'all. This is spiritual. Like, they can't do anything to us unless we allow ourselves to be yielded to the desires of our flesh, the lust of our flesh. Once you make a mistake and give in to the desires of your flesh, that is when you become open and able to be yielded and do whatever the Western world wants you to do. They got us that way.
Another point I'll mention about that, about the Africans in America being more empathetic to what has happened to African Americans, is having your culture, because I know sometimes the argument is, oh well, we went through colonialism and wars and stuff like that. Yes, you did. No one's taking that away from you, but to have your culture stripped, your identity, your language, your heritage stripped, that's a different type of wound. That's very wicked. Like, that's a deep wound, to feel that you're a wanderer upon the earth, that you're rejected of all men, like you have no place to go, no one's in your corner. You don't know your language, you don't know your history, you don't know your culture, you don't have nowhere to call home, you don't have a piece of land, a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. That's the saying we say a lot in America, you know, so it's like,
Try to be empathetic.
try to be empathetic because you can't, you see I'm struggling for words to try to
Yeah.
explain it. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
It's a very, very deeply hurtful feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we often, you know, talk about it when we have experiences here within our marriage with, you know, how things are done culturally here. It's like we were literally strategically stripped of all of that. Like there's some remnants of it still left within some people. You can see some of the things, but as a whole, the way that everybody is together, the love and the unity, bro, it's not like they stripped that away from us strategically. We don't even know how to operate on this level and do things this way.
Yeah.
Like some things that are second nature to y'all within the culture here is like an afterthought for us over there. Like one of the things that really blew my mind was how when women have babies, like the BBs and the grandmothers in the community, like this is where we at. What is it, a month, 2 months?
Yeah.
They at her house for 2 months. Everybody, it's like people coming around the clock
Bringing
making sure,
food.
bringing food. She ain't got to cook. She ain't got to move. She just got to sit there and nurse the baby. If the baby need to go to sleep, they gonna take the baby outside and give her some fresh air and let her lay down. She can do whatever she want to do. They there to help her. Man, when we had T3 in America, bruh, and it's not a knock to anybody in our family, but because we know they had stuff that they had to do. Like everybody is so focused on their life, you can't even be a family unit.
Your granny came and visited us.
Yeah, she did come.
She popped up on us
Yeah.
and made us fix us something to eat. What? Y'all got something to eat here?
We just had a baby get from the hospital. She at the house like, I'm hungry. What?
That's so hard.
I got you, Granny.
Yeah.
But yeah, like my wife said, that was stripped from us. So a lot of our people are really like yearning for love and support from their brothers and sisters, and that they just want understanding and somebody that, man.
Hold on, lick your lip.
Thank you. I might have to keep that. But that's how they show love, y'all. You see that? If your woman don't do that, hey, she don't really rock with you, bro. But yeah, they just want somebody to show them love like that. They want somebody to show love and really like empathize and
Look
see.
out for 'em.
Yeah, look out.
To further just touch on that a little bit more, you know, because a lot of the culture, the African culture, has been stripped from us. You know, many Black Americans or African Americans, however you want to call yourself, do still feel connected to Africa. Like we obviously know that we're Africans, African Americans. You know, we know where we come from. And so a lot of people have that yearning and that desire to connect with the motherland and to, you know, learn about the motherland. There's a lot of Pan-Africanism in America. Black people love it. A lot of Black people really, truly love Africa. And they may celebrate different African celebrations or African-themed or centered celebrations like Kwanzaa. And one of the issues that the UC Berkeley law article was talking about was that one example they brought up was that some Africans were making fun of African Americans for celebrating Kwanzaa because they were saying this is not an African holiday. You guys don't even know what you're doing, and they were mispronouncing some of the Swahili words. And instead of them correcting them or teaching them, they chose to make fun of them and reject them. You know, like, oh, they're not really Africans. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know the language. They don't know we don't even celebrate Kwanzaa over there. You know, so this is what some of our people have dealt with in America from their brothers and sisters in Africa, unfortunately, you know. And it's not to say that all the African immigrants who came over there were like that, because that's not true. That would be a lie. And we're going to touch on the positive side of it too, because growing up in New York, once again, like it's a melting pot. There was a lot of Caribbeans there, a lot of Africans, and so we all grew up with each other. We all was cool. One of my best friends from high school was an African from Nigeria. Her parents were like super strict. And so that was one of the things, you know, like a lot of the older generation Africans who immigrated, they were kind of like super strict and they kind of like stayed to themselves in their own communities. They didn't really like integrate with us like that, but their children did, you know, so it was kind of like fighting a battle in a sense, because it's like the older generation didn't really accept us, but the younger generation did. But then you had the older generation who was in their ear trying to, you know, like get them away from us, you know. But ultimately we still was all cool, you know. We all hung out with each other, And sometimes because of feeling rejected, like I remember going to hair salons, like the African hair braiding salons in America, and some of the African women, like when you would come in there to get your hair done, they'd just look at you and be like rude and like talk about you in their African language, you know. So that was some of the stuff that we had to deal with, you know, growing up. And so I can understand why some African Americans feel like they don't want anything to do with Africa, or that Africans don't like them because of their experiences there, you know. And then alternatively, some Africans have been also mocked by African Americans when they went over there, but that was because they felt rejected by you guys, you know. And I'm not saying it's right, you know. I'm just trying to explain the sentiments behind it.
Yeah. So you can feel where both sides are coming from. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like you said, the younger generation, they were pretty cool. Cause like for where I'm from, I had the I didn't have as many encounters with Africans as my wife did, being in New York. I'm from Memphis, of course, and so you know my encounters were pretty limited. But I remember the first encounter I had with one. I was in the 5th grade, and he actually like became my best friend. We were like best friends in the 5th grade. So I remember, man, I was thinking about him the morning that my wife actually came up with the idea for us to create this piece of content. I was thinking about him that morning. Like, man, I wonder what my brother Benny Bohanna doing.
Benny Bohanna.
Benny Bohanna.
Angela, if you watching this video, what's up, Angela?
Yeah, so you know, and even one of my groomsmen in my wedding.
Tayo.
Yeah, Tayo. He's Nigerian. Out of Tayo Ajayi, man. We've of course made friendships, and you know,
good friendships.
Yeah, getting love from my African brothers and sisters. But you know, we can't deny the fact that some of our people didn't get that experience. Some of our people didn't feel that.
Or got both. I got both sides of the experience. I got the good side, and I also got the negative side. Yeah. Which is why we can sit here and talk about this today, because we've gotten both sides, 3 sides really. Both sides in America, and then coming here to the continent as well. Yeah, we've gotten this side, and I would say that Africans on the continent are not like that at all. Yeah, for the most part.
That's the last thing on their mind.
Yeah, no.
I haven't. Nah.
You know, and in fact, they think the opposite. They think that we're rich over here. You know, because the media portrays a lot of us as athletes and celebrities, and we live in these nice houses, and I guess we would be considered to be well off, you know, like if you convert the currencies, the US dollar to a lot of the African currencies, but most Black Americans are living below the poverty line. You know, I want to dispel that myth. A lot of Black Americans who are coming back to the continent are taking their last to come over here. So
we're one of them.
To get scammed and to get overcharged is not right either, you know, by people, because people are literally coming over here to try to integrate into the society and to try to build with you guys, and so they shouldn't be getting taken advantage of when they come over here. Yeah, people are coming with their last life savings. Man, they work for 6 months hard and come here with all of that. That's all they got, and they coming over here with a dream to help build and connect with their brothers and sisters. Yeah, so help us. Y'all have helped us, like. You know, but you know, help them. You know, like for anybody who's listening to this who have gotten off on the African Americans, you need to repent, and you need to make that right. You know, and don't do it no more.
Yeah, and if you're I feel if you're an African that's still in the States and you're watching our content, I know a lot of you guys reach out to us. Man, reach out to some of the people that you're in contact with that are around you. Some of them may be, you know, you could possibly help them come over here and help them get established back at home. Because some of them just need that extra push. We've had conversations with several people, and it's unfortunate that, you know, the education system did our people in a way where they don't even know where to start on doing something like this. A lot of our people don't even know what's the first step to even trying to come back to the continent. So if there's someone that's over there and able to really give them a vision and a plan to help get it done, that'll help a lot of people out. Yeah, contacts, yes.
That's invaluable.
Yeah,
contact. Man. A good, solid contact that you can rely on, that's gonna come through for you.
Yeah, man.
That's invaluable.
Yeah, so yeah, help help some of our people out. If y'all see them in the comment section talking about they want to do it, they talking like that, show them some love. You know, reach out to them, let them know which state you in, and help them out, because It's people that's really deep in their soul need to come here and want to be here, but it's different things that's stopping them. Some of it is self-sabotage, and some of it is sabotage from what they've been taught. So, let's help each other out and help make this thing move forward, because we need each other.
Yeah. So, some people, this may be their first time watching this video, and they may feel like, oh, we're talking bad about Africans. No, like, go back and look at all of our videos. We love Africa, but we do have to have this conversation so that we can heal. So, speaking of healing, let's talk about healing. Like, how can we heal? Because we're all about solutions, being solution-based, solution-oriented, forward momentum. Because we know what happened to us in the past, but how can we move forward?
Yeah.
The first thing is understanding the root cause of the division. Willie Lynch, I don't know if my African brothers and sisters are familiar with Willie Lynch, but in a nutshell, Willie Lynch was a document that was used to ensure the perpetual servitude and division of the African race. A colonizer by the name of Willie, I don't even know if that was his real name, but whatever. His name was supposedly Willie Lynch. He came out with a document that he took around to all of the slaveholders in the Caribbean and in the Americas and in Haiti and wherever else they sold us. And they said that they would use division to control us and to divide us and to make sure that they would remain the ruling class. So they would take any difference and highlight it. And so like dark skin versus light skin, tall versus short, smart versus uneducated, old versus young, house slave versus field slave, fat versus skinny. Anything you can think of, they would use it to divide us, so that we would be fighting each other instead of realizing who the true enemy was, which is them.
Yeah.
And so once we realize that Willie Lynch is the root cause of this, we can understand and begin to undo a lot of the mess that has went on. There's a scripture, Ezekiel 37, which talks about the dry bones, which is a future prophecy of the uniting of the diaspora, those who have been sold into slavery and taken captive into the different lands around the world, and the uniting of the Africans on the continent. It's a scripture that talks about how we will unite, how we're going to start off as dry bones, just all dusty. We just scattered about, like we just lifeless. We have no life in us. And then slowly but surely we will begin to come together. The skin, we begin to, the bones will collect and form a skeleton. And then the sinews will come on, and the muscle and the skin. And then we would get up, and the breath would be blown back into us, and we begin to walk, and we would come together, and we would become one whole person again. And we see that happening on the continent. With the people that are repatriating, brothers and sisters are marrying each other. Africans are marrying Americans, Caribbeans, everything. We see that we're coming together. So things are happening. Also talks about how Ephraim or continental Africans would no longer overcharge. Like it would be a just scale, a just weight, and a just talent. So it would be like one price for us, and not because we speak English, it's a different price. It talks about all of this stuff about us coming back together. So we know that it's happening. We just need to continue to have these conversations and really try to understand each other, and not try to keep bringing up old things. Like we have to move forward. We do have to have the conversations. And then once we have the conversations, let's figure out how we can move forward.
Yeah. This late in the game, we understand what we've been put through and what we're up against. So there's no reason we should keep perpetuating the same mess that we was programmed to think. This late in the game, we know better. So it's all about operating at a higher level and moving that's in the way that's gonna help unite us. That's the only way that we need to be moving now. Anything else is really like not even worth the energy. Like I don't care. I don't care who is against the move of our people coming back to Africa. I'm not doing this in order to convince anybody. This is not to convince anybody anything. This is to just shine a light and to show you, like, this is what's possible. This is what you can do. This is what, if you believe it in yourself that you're supposed to come back to the continent of Africa, this is what you need to do in order to get that done. If people are against it, that's good. That's on you. My energy is not
If you were Aboriginal, if you were, what they call themselves? If you were Aboriginal, Native American,
I forgot what the word they use.
black
now.
person, this video ain't for you.
Yeah,
Just stay over there.
yeah.
Over there with the chemical spills in the World War III and the UFO. Stay right on over there.
Stay.
Don't come over here with that mess.
Yeah.
Please.
It's not trying to convince or make anybody do anything.
Before people be like, oh, I did my, I'm mixed with some Native American. Okay. At the end of the day, if you were mixed because you were a victim of, your grandparents were a victim of rape, or because they felt like they needed to go over there with them to escape white people, that still doesn't make you a Native American. You may have Native American in your blood, but you're still African. If you do your DNA, it's going to be a majority percentage tracing back to Africa. If you got kinky hair and black skin, you're African, whether you want to admit it or not. That's on you. I'm not here to argue with you, convince you, or anything like that.
So if you feel like that's your land, if you feel like, you know, that's where you want to stay, that's fine. Just enjoy and, you know, endure. And I pray the Most High keeps you protected and you find the remnant that's over there to protect you. But for those who have ears to hear, for those who have that yearning in their spirit and know like, okay, there's something on the continent that's calling me back. There's something, there's some peace, there's some solace, there's some safety. This message is for you. I don't argue. I don't waste my time trying to convince people. This message is for people who know and who have that yearning in their spirit. So get right. Get yourself in order so you can make the transition for yourself. You know, we're free now. We're free to think for ourselves. We've just been bombarded with so much information. It's sort of difficult for you to see clearly. But you got to look through that and do what you need to do to heal so you can see where you need to be and get where you need to be. Because the choice is always ours. You have a choice at the end of the day. We all have a choice to stay in the situation that we're in or put ourselves in a better situation. There's a whole world out there that we can be able to tap into. Like, our people were here way before Europeans came and invaded and put different territories in place and called different countries their countries. Like, our people roamed the world freely. We as a people are supposed to be roaming freely. You don't have to be confined to one country, one box. Go see the world. Put yourself in a position to go and see things and do things. We're supposed to be doing that. So yeah, you know, unfortunately we were programmed and put against each other. So we just gonna keep doing the work. Not get braids. Go ahead with Mama Prince. Power.
Wow, now he want a kiss.
A kiss.
Lord, children.
Okay, son, come get a kiss.
Where your shoes at? Ain't your feet hot?
African boy.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay.
Come on, get a kiss. Nah, I love you.
Mwah.
But yeah, y'all. See? Another thing, like, man, my son get to do stuff like that. That's something that really, that's the main reason, one of the main reasons why we came over here, for him to be freely able to do things like that. And we can send him off and not have to look over our shoulder every 5 minutes, freely send him off. So that is available, and that's possible for us to have that type of freedom and that type of peace about ourselves. I know it seems so far-fetched, but it's doable over here. It's doable over here. So overcome what we've been taught, overcome what we've been programmed, and get to your healing. Get to what you're supposed to be doing.
So that was basically it. That's what we wanted to touch on. Healing the divide between African Americans and African immigrants, and I guess just Africa as a whole. Just healing the divide throughout the African diaspora because of the centuries of colonization that we have experienced. It's a very deep wound that we're healing from, and so let's all just do the work to understand each other and to grow together and unite and to really become one again. Yeah, that's the only way forward is unity. Like the African proverb says, is if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. So let's keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah, we need each other, y'all. So, you know, let's have a little understanding of why we're here and what we're trying to do as a people. A lot of our people may not even know how to articulate it when they come, but no, that's why they're here, and that's why they came back to the continent. So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, I don't know what is wrong with you. You should probably hit it now so you can stay tuned to what we are putting out and stay connected to the content, and turn on the notification bell so you can get notified once we do upload something, so you can stay tuned to the journey. And if you made it to the end, thank you. Thank you for showing love. Thank you for sticking with us this entire process and getting the information. We hope this was helpful. We hope it's giving you some edification so that you can help move this movement forward. Get in your position, stay in your lane, and help each other out. That's all we need in this movement, man. Stay in your lane, help each other, and move forward. That's the best thing to do right now. So,
and to those of you who sow Discord,
whoa.
onto you.
Woe unto you.
Woe unto you. It's a way to discuss conversations, hard conversations, and it's sowing discord is a completely different thing. And I think a lot of our people don't understand the difference between that.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
true. Ask for a little bit more wisdom on how you
Yeah.
should operate and do your affairs.
And how you should say things.
Yeah.
And when you should say it and where you should say it.
And how.
Be wise as a serpent and gentle as a dove.
But yeah, if you're interested in making the journey to the continent over here to East Africa or any country, we offer repatriation consultations where we can help you with your specific needs to tailor your situation. So if you're interested in trying to make this transition for you and your family, the link to that will be in the description box for you to set up a consultation, and we'll get you helped.
Also, if you need healing, if you need some herbs that you can take to heal your body, especially with like all these natural disasters, chemical disasters, radiation, things going on, you can book a herbal consultation with me. I'm a clinical herbal practitioner, so I can help you come up with a lifestyle plan that will consist of herbs, lifestyle changes, and dietary changes to heal your body from whatever it is that you're dealing with. Also, the next cohort for the Forest Herbal Medicine Academy will be opening up here this month, so we'll come to you guys soon when that opens up. Also, if you want to advertise your business or your product on this channel, the link for that is also in the description box.
Yep.
And for all of those who in the Swahili course, we're learning a lot, and we're gonna keep it open for a little while because we just started. So some people still want to get in. You can catch up real quick.
Yeah, we're in week 2 right now, so you can still watch the replay videos and get caught up. So it'll be, at this point, it'll only be 4 videos for you to get caught up on. So if you're interested in joining the Swahili course and bringing your Swahili up to a point where you can be competent and confident on coming over here, we have that put in place for you guys to learn. So the link for that will be in the description box as well.
Yeah, but if not, then just wait till the fall.
And if you're interested in joining our newsletter that we're going to be putting out soon, make sure you send me an email so that I can add you to the list so that you can get added to the newsletter. If you made it to the end of the video, we appreciate you for staying tuned and showing love. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this with somebody and let them know that, you can do whatever you put your mind to. And even if there's any Africans or African Americans that sense division or sense that, there's something that's going on between us as a people, send this video to help them understand where we're coming from as a people and how we can heal from what we've been enduring these past few centuries.
And also watch our other 2 videos we did on this topic. We did 2 other videos on Do Africans Hate African Americans? One of them was from this month, and another one was from like 2 years ago. But if you go back through our videos, you'll see we did another one as well when we first got here. Yeah. And so you get to hear it from the Africans' perspective because they don't hate African Americans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not even a thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank y'all, and y'all stay safe out there. Shalom.